Hello, Mad Sim Racers. Doug Buchanan here. Welcome to Circuit of the Americas and my first attempt at a track guide. I thought with the upcoming endurance race, I know it's a very technical track, really hard to be consistent, easy to make simple mistakes, miss your braking points, and turn-ins, and be a lot slower. So I thought I'd see if we can help out, and we'll get a result here this weekend. So the first braking point you're looking for is this brown patch of dirt track. It'll be obviously way over on the right. It'll be in fifth gear as you come up here, just past this little bit of brown, basically right about here, a couple of car lengths past. Staying over to the right from fifth gear all the way down to first, staying wide, just waiting, and you're going to have a nice late apex. Put the curb here, let the car run it wide, straighten up, get on the power, and back over to the middle of the track. You work up through the gears here. You don't have to go all the way over to the right. I know maybe some of the GT4s and GT3s do, but you don't have to. In this car, just nice and tight on this turn-in. You can see here a lot of curb right over and nice and tight. Let the car go wide a little bit. You'll be up, working the gears up fifth again. Stay over to the right, right up onto the curb. You're looking for, this will be, we're looking for those yellow sort of diamond-shaped curbs. You don't want to hit them, basically, is the trick. You want to just be inside them. Whether or not use all the curb you can. So your braking point here, you're going to be right on this curb, and as you come off, about here, braking point. Not hard braking here, down into fourth gear. So go to fourth. Swinging nice and easy through the right-hander. Same thing, use all the curb, but not the yellow one. Down into third. Trick through these first three corners is just smoothness. Keep the car under control. Try not to let it slide around too much. You can get back on the throttle here again. This is going to be a double apex right-hander. So first three corners, you got a left, right, left. We've got the double apex right-hander. You're going to just clip the inside here and let the car come out wide. You don't need to keep it too tight. You can come out wide, halfway in the middle of the track. You're going to ease it in, a little touch of brake if you need to get the front end in. And you're going to stay right. Probably should have been a little tighter there. And you don't want to run it wide. You want to get right back onto this curb as soon as you can. And we're looking for that next left-hander. Again, you can just see it here in the corner. Usually stay in third, a little touch of brake to bring the front end in. We want to just clip behind it. The car's going to come out to the right here. Try not to let it get too far. Sometimes you will, that's fine. Want to straighten it up and brake pretty hard down into second. This is a really important corner. You're going to stay to the right, tight as you can. The car wants to slide out all the time, but you got to try and keep it right on this curb as much as you can, as long as you can. And then when you do come off, you're very quickly getting right back into the left-hander here. Just going to miss that little diamond curb and little pyramid, and we're going to just come in behind it, up onto this curb on the left here. Get back on the throttle. In second gear, you can let the car run out wide, just not past the curb. You're getting off track there. Working our way up through the gears again. You don't really see the apex of this one. You're just going to kind of feel it out. You can clip that there. Coming out wide, not too wide here. You can get a very strange off track just up here in this section between the curbs if you're out to the right. Not even wide of that white line, but it'll give you a 1x there, so cautious of that. Coming down into, I think this is turn 12. You see there on the curb on the right, there's a white line, but just before that, the track, you start to see the black marks from tire rubber, basically. That's your braking point, right about here. If you wait as far as that white line, I tend to outbrake myself and go too deep in the corner. So just before that white line, or right when the track starts to get dark. All the way down into first, staying wide, like all these tight corners. Cutting back in nice and tight, and getting on the throttle. Obviously very important to get on the throttle as early as you can. The longest straightaway here. But be careful of the off track. You'll see on the fast lap that I show you later, I get an off track here just by about 2 inches over this. This is about where you want to be. Basically, so your steering wheel, your dash is right above the curb. You can straddle it, but any further to the right, you'll be off track. So let the car get settled here, and then you'll just bring it back over track for the straightaway. Nothing special here. Just going to work all the way up to sixth gear. And getting ready. Good, obviously good passing place. Getting ready for the trickiest part of the course. My worst part of the course for sure. Coming up here, the Infield Section. See our marker boards on the right, counting down. You're looking for 150. But mostly what you're just looking for is this white line right beside you here. Right at the 150. You see that red line there? That's your braking point. You can push it really hard and brake just past it by a car length or two, but there's not really any need right at that white line as your braking spot. Down into first gear for this corner, staying wide as late as you can, turning in, and you can just clip that curb a little bit, let the car come out wide. Try not to go too wide here. You can go out as far as the curb, but you also have to bring it all the way back over right away. Not too wide here. As far as you can over to the left. Really tricky section here coming up. So these black marks on the ground, that's your braking point here. You're going to be in third gear here. Let's reverse. You're going to be in third. I brake just before these. Try to brake in a straight line. Keep the car out wide. Down into second. Down into first. And then you're going to turn in here. And you can get right up tight on this. You can get right up on that orange curb. And then you're going to be getting back on the gas. Trying to straighten out. You got to be really careful with the throttle through this section. Just half throttle. And then it'll be up in second gear here. Nice and tight over this curb and try and straighten it up and get on the throttle. You'll end up getting up into third briefly. And now is probably the hardest part here. You basically have to bring the car over to the left, downshift, brake, and keep it under control. So here's your braking point again, just before the dark parts of the track there. You're going to come down into second. You're going to cut this part of the corner, and then you're going to let the car run out wider than you think you should. Down into first, and then you're going to turn in tight, trying to spot that apex right here. Back on the throttle. You're going to let the car come out wide here as far as straddling the curb, and then you're going to move back over to the left again to the long sweeping right hand. So that's the hardest part over, and now we'll finish up the lap. Long sweeping right hand corners, third gear, sort of a double apex right, and then you can let the car run out a little bit wide to the left here up into fourth, and then you're going to need to get off the throttle. You shouldn't have to brake on this corner, just get out of the throttle. We're going to front end in for you. As soon as you can, you want to get back hard on the power. Good place to make up some time here. Staying just tight to the curbs here. Keep the car over on the right. Very tricky corner here, but a really important one. Braking point, there's not really any good braking point that I've been able to find. Just feel it out, practice, and right where the track starts to get darker, basically. You're going to be down into third. You may hit the limiter in fourth, but I usually just stay in fourth instead of going up to fifth. Down into third. And this corner is interesting. You can use a lot more of the track than you would think. You can actually have your left tire inside of that yellow sausage curb right here, as you can see. I'm over it right now. Don't get an off track doing that. You can let the car run out pretty wide. Easy to get an off track here, so be cautious. But you can come out as far as straddling the curb like this, and then as soon as it settles down, you're going to bring it back over on the track. Braking point for our last corner. When the sun's out, you'll see the shadow on the track. Just past the shadow is your braking point, and if there are no shadows from clouds, this bit of gray on the right is basically right where you're going to hit the brakes, right about here. You'll be in fourth gear here. Go down to second, braking in a straight line, turning in, looking for that yellow curb on the inside. You can run right onto that, and it doesn't upset the car or anything, and there's no off track. Again, important to get on the throttle as quickly as you can. Let the car run out wide, keeping it on the track. Same thing, you can straddle the curb and then come back on the track here. And that is one lap of COTA. I'm going to switch over now and show chase cam replay of a hot lap I did. Switch over now. Okay, here we go. So we're going to do a chase view hot lap. I think the lap I'm going to do here is a 201.4 with pretty high fuel level. I've gone faster now with low fuel as a quali setup, but this is a full fuel run. Cold track. I think it was 19 degrees Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit. It's a pretty cold track. And you'll see a couple mistakes. The turn 12 tight hairpin, I get a bit of an off track there just by a couple inches, and then the last two corners, 19 and 20, I missed the apex on both of them, probably lose a tenth or maybe 2/10 there. So anyways, I just thought this might help, because what I try to do when I'm practicing for these races is run as fast and hard as I can, learn all the limits of the track and the car, and that way when I back it down in the actual race, I know that I've always got that, where that limit is and how hard I can push, and how the car is going to respond. So obviously race is coming up very shortly, so this is a bit late, but hopefully it helps. So here is one lap of COTA. Okay, so there we go. So that was a 201.443. Pretty good lap. I wish I could do that every lap, but usually I'm in the 202s, 203s, and I'm happy to run, 204s or whatever in the race on a cold track and slower when it's hot. But anyways, I hope this helps anybody who's looking to improve, and I hope we have a good, fun, and safe race coming up on the weekend. Thanks.